And welcome back. I hope you've all been doing well. We have a two-parter with this video in which we're going to cover the Linux file system. You might be new to Linux, or maybe you're a long-time user who's forgotten some of the details about the Linux file system. So we're going to take a quick look and talk about what each of the directories are. Although we're not going to dive into too much detail, my hope is that you'll be left with a better understanding of your Linux installation. Also, another reason I wanted to make this sort of a shorter video is because this is the week of the 4th of July here in the States. And I've had some time off this week, and I'm sort of enjoying it, taking a vacation of sorts. Okay, so I thank you for watching, and with that, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so before getting started, the inspiration for this video came from an image I ran across on X, or Twitter, whatever. Tonight we're going to talk about the bin directory, the boot directory, the dev directory, the etc directory, the home directory, the lib directory, the media directory, the mount directory, or MNT, and the op directory, OPT. So before jumping in, let's give credit where credit is due and recognize the source of the image and the inspiration for this video. The image came from the ByteByteGo account on X. Alright, so let's move on to the first directory. Okay, so let's start off with the bin directory. So what exactly is the bin directory? Well, first, bin stands for binary, and the binary directory is where basic commands we use on a regular basis are stored. This is the source for the commands we use like mkdir, aka make directory, or ls for list, chmod, etc. are contained in the bin directory. A simpler way to look at it is that the bin directory is the quote-unquote folder where all the binaries we need to run our Linux installation are kept. Okay, so let's move on to the boot directory. This one is actually pretty simple. It is the directory that holds the files your computer needs to boot your operating system. A quick example of what may be stored in this directory would be your grub menu. So as you can probably guess, deleting this directory is not a good idea. However, if you do, accidentally of course, all is not lost. You should be able to boot your PC using a live image and simply copy and paste the boot directory back to where it belongs. I have never had to do this myself, but if anyone watching has, please leave a comment below with your story. Now we'll move on to the dev or device directory, and this directory contains the device files for all the devices in your system, like your hard drives, webcams, and so on. The files are called device nodes and are needed to allow the hardware to interact with the kernel. As with the boot directory, it's not a good idea to mess around in this directory if you don't know what's going on. So next up we have the etc directory, also known as the etc directory. This directory is more or less a catch-all folder for files that don't fit into other directories. You can find a large number of configuration files in this directory, like your network configurations, for example. Now for the home directory, which is where you'll do most of your work, and this directory is specified to each user. So if you have multiple users sharing the same computer, each user will have their own home directory. Now the home directory is where you'll start when you log into your Linux machine. So let's take a quick look at the lib directory, or the library directory. This is the directory where not only the kernel modules are kept, but also libraries used by your programs. Many of them shared by different programs. So one library can be shared by 2 or 3 or more different programs that you run on your system. The media directory is where you'll find your external and removable media devices like USB sticks, external hard drives, and for those of you old enough to remember, CD-ROMs. The MNT or mount directory is just a temporary mounting point for all of your external and removable devices. And then finally, we have the OPT directory, or optional directory, and as its name implies, is where optional software may be installed on your Linux system. You can think of it as a support directory for third-party software that may need their own directory structure. Okay, so that wraps up this rather short video. I have to say I do much more enjoy the shorter format style of videos when it comes to creating and editing, and it's much less stress. So next week we'll wrap this short series up and move on to a different Linux discussion. I hope this video gave you some value. If it did, please consider leaving a like, and thank you for watching. For those of you in the US, happy 4th, and for those not in the US, happy Thursday. Again, thank you for watching. Stay safe out there, and I hope to see you next video. Have a good one.